Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, baby, for another episode of Frag Tag Radio.
Oh my god.
Here with you today are your boys.
What the hell's going on?
Prettiest.
Matter of fact.
And J to the Ray.
There it is. Alright, so first we gotta get those plugs out there. The big ones.
The big ones. Well, we're on Appy Gamer, World of Video Game News, Game RSS, Xbox Game News. Oh, did I miss anybody? Game On. Shouts to Troy.
Shouts.
Who else? That's about it. Catch us on Twitter.
Tune in, Stitcher.
Xbox One News.
And if you want to get that episode 15 seconds before it goes up everywhere else, that's fragtagradio.com.
Maybe 10 seconds.
Maybe 5.
Follow us on YouTube.
So, first up, the Xbox One now being bundled or unbundled, sold without the Kinect. How we feeling about that?
I think it defeats the whole purpose of their vision to begin with. I really do. I mean, I realize why they're doing it. They're trying to compete with the price of PlayStation and you know, compete with them. But the whole point of it was that the Kinect is built into the hardware. I mean, it is part of the Xbox One experience. So now what are you selling us, half the experience?
For 4/5 of the price, yeah.
I mean, I'm saying it just doesn't make much sense to me. But I mean, I get why they're doing it, but it's just kind of
because, well, I mean, there is a pretty vocal minority out there of people who, you know, were saying that they're not buying an Xbox One because they don't want Kinect and that they felt like they were being forced to buy something that they don't want or need.
Well, that's fine. Then that if that's the case, though, they shouldn't have taken the approach of the Kinect. That's an error on Microsoft's part to begin with. Because now it's almost like they're saying two different things, and it's just a little confusing. But you know, I mean, I get that they needed to drop the price and they needed to get more sales, but maybe they could have found other ways of doing it.
Perhaps.
Sell a 250 hard drive one. I mean, it's going to have external hard drive support, so sell a smaller hard drive.
Yeah. Well, now that you've got the external hard drive support, it doesn't really matter how big the hard drive is.
That's what I'm saying. So sell, you know, how they bundled the Kinect with the old Xbox. They had the 4 gig. Maybe sell us a 15, 20 gig hard drive and knock $100 off the price. Still keep the Kinect with it.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and then you can sell hard drives. Well, I guess I'm not sure if you can't with the Xbox One, but you know, either way, you can still buy an external hard drive and make up for that space. So it just doesn't. I don't know. I feel like there's other ways they could have cut prices.
Yeah.
So a lot of analysts out there predicting that now that they are selling the Xbox One for $399 without Kinect, that it's very possible, even likely, that it could overtake PS4 in sales in the U.S. and Canada by year's end. Possible? I think it depends on E3.
Well, I know GameStop did say that there is a little bit more of a demand now for Xbox Ones than there was previously, thanks to the price drop.
And that's before E3.
Right. But I think that's a large mountain to climb so quickly. I think it's definitely possible, but I don't see it happening before the end of the year, maybe the end of next year. I think Xbox could probably pass them in sales, but I think it's just too quick, you know. So, but it's definitely possible, you know. I mean, if there's one thing we know about the video game industry, predicting sales is not an easy thing to do. It never is. So,
yeah, I mean, 360 had a year head start on PS3, and they pretty much came out neck and neck in the end. So
worldwide,
right?
Yeah. Worldwide. So, you know, but I mean, it was a long road for PS3.
And now China's in the picture for both companies. Sony just announced PS4 is going to be launching over there also.
Yeah. I know, the Chinese video game market is such a weird gaming market to begin with all the MMOs and weird games. I don't know that it'll make too much of a difference for either company, to be quite honest. There is a ton of people in China. So
over 1 billion.
Yeah, so you don't have to sell to a large number of, a large percent of the population to get good sales out of it.
1% is what, 100 million?
Yeah.
Or 10 million.
10 million, yeah. So you could definitely, get some good numbers on there. But I just don't know that if it will be considered successful, you know, so.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's such a niche gaming market. So, in order for it to do well, I would think you would have to have some Chinese-type games come out, right? Well,
Well, definitely.
right. So, who is going to develop those Chinese-style games when they're already so successful making these games on PC? So, that's a challenge that they're going to face, no doubt. But I guess,
The
again,
games that are popular are all free to play.
yeah, and they're weirder games, too. Some of the games they have are
Well,
weird.
they got the Call of Duty China or whatever it's called. That's really popular over there.
Yeah, I mean they have some, you know, run of the mill games too, but they do have some very weird games that are supremely popular over there that wouldn't sell.
Well, same thing with Japan. I mean, I don't even know why Microsoft's bothering to launch Xbox One in Japan. To be honest with you,
360 didn't.
I think it's a waste of resources and money on their part.
Yeah,
Something that they could have spent better elsewhere.
Yeah, because 360 didn't. I mean, they pretty much gave up on that in the end.
And they tried.
I know they tried hard, real hard. I mean, but maybe they figured this is the time. This is it.
I mean, are they just going to keep saying that every generation?
Maybe not after this generation.
So, and then there's this talk that dropping the Kinect from Xbox One is actually freeing up 10% of the actual hardware's power, and that Microsoft is talking with publishers now to unlock this extra 10% that was previously reserved for the Kinect
Okay, and
to provide more graphical power for
right,
games.
and I've been reading about this, and it is interesting, and it's definitely something I feel that the Xbox needs. But here's the question I have. So what are the people that have their Xboxes without the Kinect hooked up going to get this 10% power, and the people that have their Kinects hooked up aren't? That's what confuses me about
Right.
the whole thing. Like, so should I essentially unplug my Kinect now if
I
I
think it'll be up to the developer.
Right, but I mean, even if it is, let's say the developer chooses to do this. Should I, when I buy that game, should I unplug my Kinect so that I can get the game looking better?
I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be, if it's a non-Kinect game, then you automatically get that 10%. If it is a Kinect game, then you can count on not having that 10%. I think it's going to depend on the game itself, what game it is.
I guess that makes sense, you know, but, I mean, how involved is the Kinect in some of the games we play now?
Not very.
So what, you know,
But I think that's the whole point. From the beginning, Microsoft was hoping that Kinect would be super involved in a lot of games, and developers just haven't picked up on it.
But even the games that don't have Kinect involved...
Even Microsoft's internal developers haven't been doing that well with Kinect.
But here's my question. Even the games that don't have Kinect used at all, I can still say Xbox record that.
Yeah,
It's not technically embedded in the game, but the Kinect still Xbox still needs to recognize the Kinect.
The voice commands aren't using any graphical power per se.
Well, I wouldn't imagine that Kinect is using graphical power at all.
Yeah.
Why would it? You know, that's what confuses
Well,
me.
that's what I'm saying. Like, take like Kinect Sports. Obviously, Kinect is using some graphical power in that game.
Well, yeah, but that's one of one of a.
Well, that's
dozen
what I'm talking about. Games like that, like Kinect Sports, that are actually using Kinect like that, are going to use that 10%. And if it's not a game like that, then you automatically get that 10%.
But why, if Kinect Sports used that 10%, you would need the Kinect.
Right.
So why would I need the 10% in that game? Because you can't play it without a Kinect. That's what I'm confused about. It's just.
Well,
such a
the whole
confusing
thing is
matter.
you won't have to unplug the Kinect. You'll just leave it plugged in, and if you're playing a game like Kinect Sports, then you can count on not having that 10% of power that's going to be, reserved for the Kinect. And the developers will develop their own way around that. And then if you're playing, say, Call of Duty, that might have a couple of voice commands in there, you'll get that 10%, and the developers will know that, and they'll build that into the game.
Sounds like a very confusing, I guess.
It's going to be something that's not going to affect us on the user end at all. It's going to be something that's going to be affecting the developers.
Just seems like if I buy a Kinect right now, if I buy Xbox One without Kinect right now, I won't need the voice commands. I won't need to say Xbox record that. I won't need to do anything. I'll do everything with the controller. So I could see getting the 10% extra power out of that because my system is not ever needing to use the Kinect at all.
I can't even.
Yeah.
I personally, after having used Kinect this long, can't even picture using my Xbox One without it.
I know, I can't either.
Especially like recording game clips is going to be super hard for people who buy the.
Yeah, because I mean, dude, I use everything. I use Kinect for everything now.
You're gonna have to pause the game,
right.
go and snap the game DVR. Then go use your controller to select record, then go back, unpause the game, and continue playing and record from there. You're not going to be able to just boom, record on the fly as you're playing and keep playing like you can with the Kinect. So that's what I'm saying. There's definitely big benefits to having the Kinect in that aren't even game related in the sense of playing the game, but it directly affects the game in ways like that.
We'll have to see how it turns out. I guess it's still questions that need to be answered with it.
So, Xbox One unbundling Kinect. That's not the first 180. Now we've got no longer need gold membership.
Thank God
for Netflix.
And I think that
Hulu,
I know why they're
like
doing
that.
this, because people bought Xbox 360s for these streaming apps because it was the only way. They were one of the first ways they could do it. Now there's Roku's, Apple TVs they can get for a lot cheaper, and they don't have to pay Roku $10 a month, $7 a month just to stream.
Yeah.
So it was always BS that Microsoft said, here, you got to pay $3. Not for us as gamers, but if they want to be the all console for the families that buy it, no family is going to buy that console to stream Netflix when they've got to pay a monthly fee on Netflix and Xbox just to stream it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do that, and it was asinine that they ever did that. So I'm glad that they're finally getting. I think they're learning from some of their Don Matrick mistakes.
Yeah, well, 360 was the first console to get Netflix.
Right, exactly.
That's how it started.
That's how it started, and that's why people bought 360 so they could stream Netflix. But now that there's so many options and nobody else charges to give you that option, it just doesn't make sense.
The policy was archaic, and it really should have left before Xbox One came
That's
out.
right. That's right. Well, I'm glad they're finally, they're getting it now. So that's definitely a good change there. I don't necessarily agree with the Kinect removal, but I do agree with this one.
And also, if you are one of those people who only use your Xbox One for entertainment purposes, you can call Microsoft and get a refund for however many months of gold membership you haven't used yet now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're offering a refund to anybody with a gold membership that is only using their gold membership for entertainment. You can call them and they'll cancel your gold membership and refund you for any unused months.
Well, that's good
nice.
because there's definitely, I'm sure, at least a couple people out there. Although, this is for 360 too, right? That's what I thought, because there's not many people that have an Xbox One for entertainment only options right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Mostly only hardcore gamers bought the Xbox One so far. And then, so speaking of gamers, the games for gold coming to Xbox One.
Yeah.
First games, Halo Spartan Assault, Max the Curse of Brotherhood, both good games.
But again, for somebody like us, there's not many. Well, at least when those games came out, there wasn't many options for games because we had played all the other ones.
Yeah.
So I feel like anybody who bought an Xbox One
has downloaded at least one of those games.
Right. So, but props, kudos to them because there's not many options they have on it anyway.
Exactly, you got to start somewhere.
That's right. Yeah.
And
so
the Xbox 360 offerings are getting much better.
they are.
Yeah.
June, Dark Souls,
Mm-hmm.
Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition,
Yeah.
and
Charlie Murder?
Charlie Murder. No, or was that this month? No, that's next month.
Charlie Murder's a really good one.
So, but that's 3 games in 1 month on 360 this coming month. Super Street Fighter 4 is a bonus game.
Yeah.
So, they're definitely getting much better with games with gold. Now, it's worth noting that games with gold on 360, it'll continue to work as it has. You can cancel your gold membership just out of the game. But games with gold on Xbox One is going to work like PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
If you cancel your membership, you won't have access to those games anymore until you renew your subscription again.
And that's fine because if you're a gamer, you're not going to cancel your membership anyway.
Right.
So.
Let's see. Skype can now be snapped.
I know. It's about time, and that came out of left field.
Yeah, it did.
Like, dude, I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, I was going through the news, and I was like, "Holy crap! Skype could be snapped. That's amazing."
That was like our #1 thing on our list of stuff that should have been there at launch.
It's worth noting though that Skype still has problems that need to be addressed, and I'll tell you what it says when you say Xbox, and it shows down at the bottom say to call one of your favorites. So if I put you on my favorites on Skype, I should just be able to say call Jeff Stoddard, right? And or I could say call Pradius or call Pradius X, whatever, and it should call you. I put you on my favorites. I go up there and I say call, and then it never. I will try spelling it out, everything. It won't work, and then I'll go back. I'll turn it off, my console off, turn it back on. My favorites are blank again. I have to re-put everybody in there, and it's every single time my console goes on. I have to re-put people on my favorites list on Skype, And even when they're on there, I can't just say call such and such. I have to say Xbox One, go to Skype, and then when Skype comes up, I have to actually have their name highlighted to where I can do it, which it's not supposed to work like that.
Right. Well, and voice commands in general still have bugs that need to be worked out.
They do, but in particular, I haven't had very many issues with the voice commands. I've had some, but not very many, except for with Skype. That's where I have all my voice command problems, and I think it's the Skype app itself.
Well, actually, my problems don't come from my voice commands not working. My problems with the voice commands comes from I'll be talking, not even saying a voice command, and all of a sudden the Xbox is listening, and I have to tell it to stop listening, even though I'm not talking to it.
Yeah, I've had that too. And you know, you can actually turn. Gosh, I was looking through the options, and there was an option of. Oh, I know what it is. It has nothing to do with voice commands. It's the motion thing for the video. So when you're watching a movie or something, it won't read any motion with your hands. Because I was having the problem of when I leaned back in my recliner to watch a movie, my feet were up on the recliner. I would see my foot wave, and all of a sudden you go ding, and it's like pausing the movie.
They should just take the motion navigation.
Who would
out.
use that?
We tried to use it at your house.
Remember? I know, yeah.
Select the horse or the unicorn.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing ever.
Could not select that unicorn.
Why would I do this? I couldn't even figure out how to bring the hand up because it's not a wave anymore. You got to like raise your hand or something like that. Yeah. And then who would do this?
You got to raise the roof.
When all you got to do is say Xbox next. Xbox next page. Like, it's just stupid.
Xbox volume up.
Yeah. I like how you can adjust that now. Yeah. And also, you can, is it this update or was it the last update that you can finally change the volume of snapped apps? Because one of the problem was I'd be playing a game and I'd be watching TV on snapped. And the volume from both, I would want to watch the baseball game on mute or with the volume down, and you couldn't adjust. So you just had both of them playing loud.
Right.
The only way to actually adjust the game one separately was to go in and turn the game volume all the way down, but you couldn't do it with the snap. But now you can. I can't remember if it was last update or it's the new update, but it can be done now, which is a great change. So,
very great change. As we were mentioning earlier, external hard drive support is now available for members of the preview program. So if you've got the preview and you've got an external hard drive, go ahead and plug that bad boy in. Just remember, it's got to be USB 3.0, and it's got to be at least 256 gigs.
Not 255, 256.
All right, so let's talk about E3 for a minute. E3 coming up. A lot of rumors going around.
Lots of rumors.
Ryse 2, Fallout 4, Battletoads, Crackdown 3, which we've been predicting forever. Yeah. Halo 5, of course. And then Perfect Dark, but the rumors for this Perfect Dark is that it's not going to be a first-person shooter. It's going to be like a third-person, like a Uncharted type of Perfect Dark.
Sounds good to me because it can't be the same because the first-person shooter genre is so different now, and it would take something epic from them. It's
also super cluttered. I mean. And as far as shooters, Xbox already has that locked down with Gears, Halo, Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we don't really need Perfect Dark to be a shooter anymore.
If it was more like Uncharted, that's something the Xbox does need, is adventure-type, third-person shooters, because those are one of my favorite type of games. Yeah. And
need some more out of the wakes.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Maybe, but see, I hope it's like Uncharted, where it's got some platforming and all that. That'd be sweet. Yeah. And then with the Perfect Dark weaponry and all the lore from that would be tight.
Yeah. Laptop guns, baby.
Oh yeah.
Gears of War is rumored to be called Gears of War Lazarus, which is after the project that Marcus Phoenix's father Adam Phoenix was working on, which I think they mentioned it. And it was either Gears of War 2 or 3. There was like some notes that you found that you could read a little bit about it. And if you've read the books, then you know a decent deal about it.
It's supposed to be a prequel or a sequel?
Sequel.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that turns out.
Fallout 4.
Yeah. Boston, Massachusetts has been the rumored area. Really, really looking forward to seeing that. And my guess is if Microsoft's going to have that at their conference, there's going to be some type of exclusivity there, whether it be DLC first like Call of Duty or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get something as far as the DLC first. That's what happened with Dead Money and all of the Fallout New Vegas stuff. We were talking about that on the phone the other day, so I'm pretty sure that we're on the right track with that. That's what we'll see, and that's fine. That's good. some things that aren't on this list that we will see probably at E3 that I'm interested in more of is Evolve. They've announced all those new characters and stuff. That game just intrigues me, man. I don't know what it is, but I know you were always a huge Left 4 Dead fan. I wasn't so much, but this game has just really intrigued me. Shadow of Mordor, another game that seems kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, see, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy, but I know a few people who are pumped about that Shadow of Mordor.
Because it's a game set canon in between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and it shows basically how Sauron takes over Mordor and all that. It takes all that back. So if you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, which I am, you know, it's something that you definitely would be looking forward to. Some other things, Assassin's Creed Unity. Want to see more of that?
Possibly Assassin's Creed Comet.
Right, which is current gen. Oh gosh, Fallout 4. I mean, Far Cry 4.
Probably see a lot on Dragon Age too.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a very exciting E3. Very
Now,
exciting. Oh, by the way, I meant to tell you. I don't know if you saw the news where Rockstar extended the Agent trademark.
It's in the outline.
Oh, you got it in there? Sorry, ruin the rest of the show, dog.
It's in the outline, yeah. But they extended the trademark. And what's interesting is that there is that Rockstar is supposed to have a game before the end of this year for Xbox One and PS4.
Please be wrong. Please, it's probably going to be Grand Theft Auto 4. I mean 5, but I would love it to be Red Dead 2. God,
Well, see, I was reading an article, can't remember what site it was, and this guy was saying that he thinks it's going to be Bully 2, and in the same article he was like, it could be Red Dead 2, but I don't think there's that much of a demand for that game.
It could also be Grand Theft Auto 5.
Do you really think there's more of a demand for Bully 2 than there is Red Dead Redemption 2?
Absolutely not. No way. No way.
Is this guy even a gamer? What has he been smoking? More of a demand for a sequel to Bully. I mean, Bully was a good game, but
it was a good game, but nothing
near as popular as Red Dead Redemption.
I know.
Nowhere near.
Another game very interested to see more of is Fable Legends.
Yep.
Want to see a lot more of that.
Quantum Break. Sunset
Overdrive. I mean, there's some great games.
And a trailer came out recently of Sunset Overdrive.
I know, with a lot of information, man.
A lot of gameplay. That game looks... I'm way more excited about that game than I was before.
I thought it was so cool how, like, they said if you just try to walk around the streets, there's no run button. You cannot run. If you walk around the streets, you'll pretty much die. You have to parkour and ride lines and all that.
It looked like Crackdown mixed with Tony Hawk.
Yeah, that's a good, probably a pretty good analogy. What else? What other game? Oh, The Division. I knew that game was going to get delayed. Remember we were talking about that?
Actually, there's something here in the outline about that also. Whereas one of the developers has anonymously said that they'll be surprised if it even comes out next year.
I knew it smelled fishy because if you remember that some article came out several months ago on a video game site. Can't remember which one it was. We never remember which one it was over here.
We'll call it
But it said that they only had like 10% of the world done, and this was like a month ago or two. And then they were talking initially it being 2014. I just knew that wasn't going to happen. But what are some other games I've missed that maybe that have been kind of rumored?
Supposedly EA has 5 games.
We know
that haven't been announced yet. That they're going to be announcing
another Battlefield.
5 games. Possibly another Battlefield.
Need for Speed's taking a break this year, isn't it?
It is. It doesn't mean they can't show a teaser trailer.
True.
One of them is rumored to be the next Sims, which wouldn't surprise me.
Madden.
I'd like to see a new Dead Space.
I would too. A next gen Dead Space would be tight. But Madden and FIFA are going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Another NBA Live.
They might as well hang up the hat.
I know.
Just give up. Just concentrate on Madden and FIFA. Just forget about basketball.
Oh, Dying Light. That's another game I'm looking forward to.
That game got delayed till next year.
I know.
February.
Sucks, man. But I guess there's so many good games. What about Arkham Knight?
Yeah.
Arkham Knight?
Yeah. That game actually looks pretty awesome.
With the Batmobile?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
After Origins, which was kind of a letdown to me.
That's because Rocksteady didn't make Origins. So,
right.
We knew that it's the same thing with Judgment. While still a good game, it's hard to, make a spectacular game when you're just basically handed some tools like, here, make a game like we did. You know what I mean?
Well, Obsidian did a good job
with Fallout New Vegas.
They
They are one of the few. They did do a good job with that. But
I actually like New Vegas just as much as Fallout 3.
Yeah, I like Fallout 3 better, but New Vegas was a good game. I like the DLC.
New Vegas had better DLC.
They definitely did. Yeah, it definitely did. Because the Mothership Zeta and all that was okay, but the what was the other
Operation Anchorage or whatever?
Yeah, that one wasn't too strong.
What was the one that was in Pittsburgh?
I think it was like the Pits or something like that.
Yeah, it was called like the Pits or something.
Yeah, and those were okay, but like you were saying, Dead Money, Old World Blues, those were classic DLCs.
They were.
So,
Elder Scrolls Online delayed 6 months.
I know, crazy, right?
And there's talk that it might be delayed even longer. It might be next year before we see it. Which I'm not excited for that game anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. Yeah. And I'm an Elder Scrolls fan. I'm just not an MMOs that you got to pay for. If it was free, I'd be excited. But
staying on the E3 tip real quick. Every year, there's 1 or 2 games that nobody's heard of, nobody knows anything about, that come out of the woodwork and steal the show. It happened like with
The Division last year.
The Division. It happened Rage several years ago.
Yeah.
It happened Dishonored.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always something that just knocks your socks off. So
I know that Microsoft and Phil Spencer, they're going super hard this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting E3 for Xbox.
If Microsoft ever had a chance to win E3, I think this is the year. And speaking of Phantom Dust, they just renewed the trademark for that, which is a little-known game for the original Xbox, made by the same guy who actually was the creator of Crimson Dragon, Panzer Dragoon. But Phantom Dust was actually like a third-person crazy shooter type of game.
I remember it.
But I'd be interested in seeing a sequel to that. I'm a big fan of Crimson Dragon. Love that game. So also Destiny, the beta's coming in July. I'm guessing that's for PS4. Xbox One will probably be the following month.
It'll still be interesting to see, finally get our hands on it and kind of just check it out. So looking forward to that. I'm how much more? Or I know there's more that. We're just going to see more of the same, I think, from Destiny at E3. I don't think there's really, anything that they've held back to this point, except for some of the story. The story we haven't seen much of, but still, I don't know how much of Destiny we'll see at E3 per se, because they've already kind of blown their load with Destiny at last E3. And
like I said,
I know you're not too excited for that
at all.
Yeah, I know you're not. I am.
They've got to really turn it around. I'm not the only one who thinks that game looks boring. I can quote numerous journalists who also think it's boring.
It could be.
And they actually played it.
Yeah, they did, but they only played a very, very, very small portion of the game. You can't tell how a game is by playing.
But you figure you would want to show journalists a good part of your game so that they would have good things to say. Obviously, Bungie thought that was a good part of the game.
Well, they
considered that a good part of the game, or they wouldn't have shown it all.
They wouldn't have let people play they give them firefight missions though? It just seems like a stupid move. It's like here's Halo. This is called Halo. Here's a firefight mission.
Either they're
it's such an old concept now.
Either they're retarded or they actually thought it was good.
I just don't understand why they did that.
I'm guessing they actually thought it was good, and giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're not retarded.
Maybe so.
So,
well, again, there's definitely question marks on Destiny. There's no doubt about that. I still have faith in Bungie, though. I think Bungie's going to deliver something.
If they don't pull a rabbit out of the hat at E3, Bungie's not going to do good numbers. It's not going to sell well.
I don't know what more they could do at E3 without short of showing the story and giving some of the campaign away. And
the publisher Activision has been doing a horrible job of marketing that game.
Well, another thing is they still haven't shown anything about multiplayer, which is what everybody is so curious about. Everybody wants to know about multiplayer. PvP. Yeah, I'm sorry. They have shown the Strike Force missions, which were co-op, and so was the whole game for that matter. Right. But yeah, PvP, because that's what Halo was known for, and they've made it big. We are going to do a great online, competitive online. And we haven't seen anything on it yet. Isn't that strange to you?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't send good messages.
Because this was somebody, I read an article talking about it. They were saying, with the way this game is, the Borderlands-esque loot, and how you can upgrade your weapons and all this, and your armor, how will they be able to balance a competitive multiplayer?
Maybe you won't be able to use your customized character.
But they are standing by the fact that you will. So how? that might be why we haven't seen it yet.
It's gonna be a tough cookie to crack.
Yeah, so still lots of questions on Destiny. You know, again, I'll give Bungie the benefit of the doubt until they prove me wrong.
Fable Legends supposed to have a huge presence at E3.
We kind of knew that.
Major Nelson has said that Microsoft is going to do something at E3 that's never been done before.
Oh Lord, Major Nelson,
Thoughts on what that could be?
show a game.
It's not going to be Usher on stage, I can tell you that, because it's been done.
It's gonna. You think it'll be something real commercial like that, like an actor or something like that?
No, I'm just joking.
What could it be? Sell Xbox One without a Kinect?
Well, that has never been done before.
Not in E3.
E3.
Yeah, I want to see Fable Legends. When is Fable Legends supposed to be coming out though? Didn't it originally say this year?
I think holiday this year.
Probably gonna end up being winter 2015.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know though. With Halo pushed into next year, they kind of need it to come this year.
Yeah, they do. But man, I mean, I just feel
The Master Chief Collection isn't going to hold it down, which we're going to get into next. The Master Chief Collection. We've been hearing rumors about Halo 2 Anniversary getting remade for Xbox One, revamped, rebooted, whatever. And now they're saying it's going to be the Master Chief Collection. You're going to get Halo 1, 2, 3, and Halo 4. All of them remastered for Xbox One. And supposedly Saber Interactive and Certain Affinity have been working together on this.
Well, okay. Here's how I feel about this. If it's done to the degree of Halo Anniversary, completely and utterly redone, which is what they're saying,
Yeah.
I might be on board with it. But if it's just like with Halo 4, if it's just a slight HD brush up, which is what I think it'll be with Halo 4,
Right.
then what's...
Well, with Halo 4, it probably will. But I'm guessing Halo 3, Halo 2, those will probably get a pretty good makeover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they will too. There's going to have to be an incredible makeover for me to play them again.
Well, if they sell all 4 of those games together as one package for $60, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's definitely a good deal. You know, again, it's going to be the quality of how it's redone. Halo Anniversary was done great. You know, it was great. If it's all done to that quality, then I'm on board too.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see.
Yeah, and
But are they going to lose steam because they're doing 3 games at a time?
I'm glad that it is going to be the collection in all 4 of those games and not just Halo 2 Anniversary, because I think by itself, Halo 2 Anniversary would have just...
Okay, but here's another question. What about the multiplayers for all those games? Are they going to be combined into one multiplayer, or only the people playing Halo 1 are going to play against the other people playing Halo 1? Only the people playing Halo 2? Are they going to converge those multiplayers and kind of have maps from each one in this remastered version?
Well, it's hard to say. With Halo 1 Anniversary, they just... It was...
Use the Reach.
I
remember. Yeah, that's why I'm asking this question, because... Are they all going to plug it into Halo 4's multiplayer somehow? How is that going to work? So that's a question that could be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Halo 5 Guardians. So we all pretty much knew that Halo 5 wasn't coming out this year. Now it's definitely been announced for next year. It's called Halo 5 Guardians, and there's been one picture released. It's Master Chief and another Spartan.
Huh.
The one Spartan is on top of the Halo
yeah,
logo.
everybody was asking the question, who the hell is this Spartan?
Yeah, who is this new Spartan?
And they said it is not Cortana, or like...
Well, yeah, because some people were saying that it looked kind of like a female Spartan.
It ain't Cortana.
Well, it's definitely not Cortana.
It ain't Cortana, dog.
But I do think there's a good chance that Cortana could be making a comeback in Halo 5.
I would hope
because
so.
Because that's definitely Cortana's memory chip in Master Chief's hand in that teaser trailer from last E3.
I hope it is. I really do.
She's one of the most interesting
Cortana stole the show in Halo 4.
She did.
Yeah.
She stole the show. And I hope she's back, because Halo 4 was essentially Cortana's story.
Yeah.
And it was good for that reason. I mean, I thought Halo 4 had the best story of any Halo to date. You know?
Oh, it did. By far.
Yeah.
By far. And we talked about Phantom Dust getting trademarked. We mentioned Agent. Take-Two just extended the trademark for that. Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition, confirmed for Xbox 360 and Xbox One. We always knew it was coming to PS4. Now it's been confirmed for Xbox One and 360. And what's cool is that if you have Diablo 3 on 360, you'll be able to transfer your character over to the Xbox One.
Which is very, very, very good to hear.
Yes.
I mean, because we were talking Matter of fact, when we were talking about this, you're like, I hope I don't have to start all over on my character because I probably won't do it.
Yeah.
But you will want to be
that
play as
option
the
wasn't
Crusader.
there, I wasn't gonna buy it again.
So yeah, I would have bought it and just played as the Crusader, probably, because I'm interested in doing that. But yeah, as much time as you spent on your character, I don't blame you. You were a lot higher level than I was. I mean,
yeah, I played through it on normal, then I played through it on Nightmare, and then I was going through Hell or whatever. Hell, I can't remember the order. Hell or
and then you spent hours upon hours.
I was on the third one.
Then you spent hours upon hours on the glitch.
Yeah, duping.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, you were like, check it out. Look at all these gems I got. I'm like, how the hell did you get all that?
Duping, baby.
Stooping to duping.
Just get my dupe
over there, stooping to duping.
And they've got this this new mode that will make it so that me and you can play together, even though I'm a super high level character. You'll be able to play with me.
Yeah, and
with your low level character because it'll scale your stats up to mine while you're playing with me.
Which is good because essentially once you got to a certain level, I was like, I forgot what level I was, 20 something, 30 something, I don't know, and I couldn't play with you anymore because you were just
way too high.
Yeah, you would just rape everything, and then I'm just kind of standing back like, oh, this is cool. Hey, I just took 5.
Grab some loot.
So I can't use any of this, but
all right. Forza Motorsport 5 Car Pass extended. Season Pass owners will now get 2 more car packs for free, which I think is pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Xbox One controller to be compatible with PC
Windows
soon?
I'm actually glad to hear that because I was considering going out and buying a wired 360 controller just to start using with my Surface and my laptop to play the Xbox games on there to get achievements. But now I can just wait and just plug my Xbox One controller in, and I'd actually rather use my Xbox One controller than a wired 360 controller anyway.
Yeah.
So glad that that's coming. Half-Life 3, quote unquote, definitely being worked on.
I think everybody knew that though. I know it's news because they finally said it.
Well, Valve didn't say it. This comes from a developer who I guess was working on Counter-Strike, and then he left there, and so now he's kind of letting the cat out the bag. And he also said that he's seen Left 4 Dead 3, supposedly. It looks awesome, supposedly.
Well, we know Valve takes a while. They take their time. So.
A long time.
Yeah, they take their time. So, but
Half-Life 3 has been in development for like 10 years.
And I know, and it seems like every 2 years they drop some kind of hint or teaser, and then it's like, okay, we'll let them marinate, let them stew on that for a couple years, and then they're like, they show you like a concept art picture that might be Half-Life 3, might not, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll let them marinate on that. Okay, thanks Valve.
Metro Redux coming out for Xbox One and PS4. Native 900p on Xbox One.
No way! Like, for real? Oh, shit. Pre-order. He said that like that was a big thing.
1080p on PS4.
Just like everything.
Let
me ask you this. Do you think that the resolution gate has a big part of why they stopped this Kinect and get this 10% more power? Do you think that has something to do with it? I do.
That's part of it. I think they also wanted to match price.
That's definitely part of it too. But
it was the combination of things.
It's just like seems every game, native 900, and then native 1080p on PlayStation.
Well, at least they're working their way up because it started out every game was
720.
Yeah, and now they're up to 900. Congrats,
we're getting there.
We're on the way. We'll be to 1080.
We'll be in 1080.
We'll make it there.
By 2016, we'll be at 1080.
By the time Xbox 2 comes out.
Xbox 180 is what this is going to be called in a couple months.
Well, you remember back before they came out that this console was rumored to be called the Xbox 720, and then and then it came out and everyone's like, oh, it was really blah blah.
I never even thought about that.
They should have called it the Xbox 720. That's what all the damn games are. Yeah.
That's why they didn't call it the Xbox 720. Probably that's
been a running joke on the internet forums for months now.
I tend to not read the internet forums, so
they're depressing for an Xbox owner.
That they are. That's kind of why I stopped reading them, because you're just like, damn, I want to talk shit to this dude so bad right now, but I ain't got nothing to say. So
we got Sunset Overdrive. Take that.
Plants vs. Zombies, bitch.
Quantum Break. which we haven't seen any gameplay.
It's
gonna be great.
You know, I'm still glad that I chose Xbox One over. I mean, so I got a PS4 that I play all the time and been playing it a lot lately. But still, if I had to choose one, I would still take Xbox One, just because I think as a whole system right now, I think that has more potential for the future. I think PS4, and I don't want to start anything by saying this, but you know, I have both of them hooked up. I have both of them hooked up right now in my room. And
both great consoles.
Both are great consoles. It's just to me that it seems like Xbox One is trying to be a little bit more revolutionary with theirs and trying things, whereas PS4 is being safe. And, you know, so, both ways are fine.
Playing it safe, it's been working out for him so far.
It has, and it was smart because the risk that Microsoft took on Xbox One
backfired
horribly, and it all worked out perfectly for PlayStation, because then they could say, "Haha, you took a risk, and we're playing it safe, so we're better." You know what I mean? So crazy. I'd like to see the first thing that Phil Spencer does when he walks on.
You remember that stupid video that Sony made with that fat, gay-looking white guy, and then the Chinese dude? He was like, "This is how you share games on PS4."
Yeah.
And he handed the game to the other guy, and then the dude was like, "Thanks." Like, oh, no, they didn't, man.
I'd like to see Phil Spencer. The first thing he does when he walks on stage for E3 is he puts up like a big PlayStation banner on the screen and just turns around and goes.
Just drops the mic, walks off stage, and nothing but game trailers after that.
After last year, because last year, man, wow.
That would be epic if that happened. It won't, though.
No, it won't.
All right, so
can I get some bleeps?
Minecraft coming to Xbox One.
Fuzzy things over my finger.
Minecraft coming to Xbox One in August. And the cool thing is, if you already own Minecraft on 360, you can upgrade and get the Xbox One version for $5.
$5.
$5.
So that means it's going to be on Games with Gold too.
I doubt it. It's so popular, they're going to want that $5.
Yeah.
Because the $5 that I paid to Halo for Halo Spartan
They're
Assault,
going to want that $5.
They gave me they're going to give me a $5 game.
But it's also cool because any worlds you've built in 360 will transfer over.
That is cool, and it's more
the DLC.
It's more like the PC version too, right?
Some of the DLC packs won't be able to transfer over because of licensing.
Well, yeah, but isn't it more like the PC version? It's supposed to be.
Way more like the PC version.
That's what I thought. It's going to be
because the worlds are 1,000 times bigger.
Yeah, because that was one of the downsides to the Xbox 360 edition. So that's a good thing.
I mean, they were working with 512 megabytes of memory, and now they're working with 16 times that. So.
Well, for improvement.
Now they can even bump up to 720p too if they want.
If Minecraft doesn't run at 1080p, something's wrong.
Yeah, something is seriously wrong. I was like, no, man, them pixels are just.
Oh, they're eating it up. Native 900, we got y'all. We got y'all. Native 900.
Thanks.
Enjoy. All right. Evolve coming October 21st.
Spoke about that a little bit.
We did. Crytek got a new game called Arena of Fate coming to Xbox One, PS4, and the old consoles 360 and PS3 later this year. It's rumored to be like a free-to-play MOBA type of game.
Yeah, MOBA games are so popular right now.
Crytek's loving these free-to-play games recently. Warface, which I was not impressed with.
No,
I don't think
not at all.
I don't think anybody was.
I mean, the gameplay was okay, but the graphics were just horrible.
Can we get another Crisis? I mean, you know, give me a next-gen Crisis. Yeah. So if Ryse 2 is coming out, then hopefully that'll blow our socks off.
Yeah. Yeah. Native 900p. The first Ryse was native 900.
Man, it was beyond. It
Forza
was
5?
ahead of its time, wasn't it?
Forza 5 was 1080. Can you believe it?
Yeah. It's just crazy because Ryse was ahead of its time.
It was.
How did they manage to do that?
A lot of hard work, I guess. Blood, sweat, and tears went into that game.
What did Dead Rising 3 run at?
Pretty sure that was 792.
720, you mean?
No, one of the new popular resolutions is 792.
Oh, 792. I thought you said 792.
Yeah, that's what Titanfall's running at 792. There's a couple other games also.
One of the popular new resolutions. Like it's groundbreaking.
Well, I mean, like, before now, haven't you ever heard of 792p?
No, but thanks to Microsoft, we know all about it. They are breaking
Create
ground.
resolutions.
They are. You think they're just all 720 and they're like, what could we realistically pass this off as? Oh, 792 sounds good.
Just raise the pixels just a little bit. I mean, squeeze every little bit you can. All right, we can give you 792. We'll take it. We'll take it.
They're creating
We'll take anything we can get at this point.
Oh man.
WWE 2K15
Don't make me laugh. I'm sweating too.
coming October. John Cena, Rey Mysterio.
Uh-oh.
Rey Mysterio. Oh man.
All right, well, no one's interested in that. Moving on.
She was.
Project V1. If you want to check this out, you can go to projectv1.com. This is
And that's it.
This is
All right,
a-
we'll move. Like,
This
we're not
is-
going to tell you about it. If you want to check it out,
It's
just
just-
go over to the website.
Well, you're gonna want to check it out because it's a teaser site with a countdown, and the only thing up there is a picture of a helmet. People are speculating on what this is, what's going to be. Rumors are it's going to be a new Beautiful Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's what the rumors are saying. probably run at 900p, if I'm guessing. Maybe a little lower, 792. But
Probably run at 926p.
it'll be bare minimum 792. Hopefully 900, 1080 if you're real lucky.
Is there the only game? How many games on Xbox One are at 1080? Other than I know the Forza. Is that the only one?
There's a couple more. All the indie games that have come out, Super Time Force, all those are 1080.
Well, I would hope those are. You know what I mean?
Nutjitsu is 1080, bro. All right, let's just get that clear.
Okay, well now that that's clear.
Nutjitsu.
Unbelievable.
There is a couple others though. I mean,
I meant like the bigger retail games.
right.
A couple other out there somewhere.
There's a couple out there. It's a couple.
Somewhere.
I can't tell them to you off the top of my head. No idea. There's a couple though. Rest assured.
Magic the Gathering.
The Division's 2015 release date is a quote-unquote tad bit optimistic, claims the developer.
That's encouraging. That's encouraging. Sounds like we're going to be
And
getting our
that,
hands on it sooner rather than later.
What? And then also in the same article, when they were told that they had to have the game done by the end of 2014, it felt like a quote-unquote slap in the face.
In a time and an era where Watch Dogs is going to launch with the consoles, and then a couple weeks before that, all of a sudden it gets delayed 6 months. A game that says that a 2015 release date is a tad bit optimistic does not sound good.
Yo, I think if you're going to delay a game, you got to do it at least a couple to a few months before it comes out. You can't be 2 weeks before launch. Oh, by the way, we're not going to make that release.
And the crazy thing is, it's like 4 games did that. Kinect Sports Rivals, Watch Dogs. What's the Sony game that did that? The racing game, Drive Club.
Yeah.
And we still don't even got a release date. Well, I think a release date just finally came out like last week for that. But it's like, dude, what is wrong with y'all? Infamous Second Son for a while we were expecting on. Like, these people are just crazy. It's like,
Batman and the Brink developer working on a game called Splash Damage for Xbox.
yo, dog, I'm here to pick up my copy of The Division. Oh, just to let you know, it ain't coming out for 2 more years. Like, I pre-ordered it. What do you mean? I'm here to pick it up.
All right, not interested in Splash Damage. Moving on.
No.
Oh, okay, you want to go ahead?
What?
Splash Damage?
Splash damage. Tell us all about it.
Darksiders. Darksiders isn't dead.
I saw this, yeah. I think they took a step in the right direction with the last game, but it was kind of dull and boring at times. I'd like to see them take another giant leap and make the world more interactive and stuff around it, because there was just large segments of Darksiders 2 that were just dead. It seemed like unnecessary world, and if they could take the concept that they created with Darksiders 2 and expand on that and make more things happening in the world itself, I think it'd be a great game.
Definitely.
So I guess we're gonna move on that note.
Mortal Kombat. Possibly a new Mortal Kombat.
Or Injustice 2.
Yeah, or Injustice. Ed Boon, he's been tweeting out those cryptic messages. You know?
Booney loves that.
I'd rather have a new Mortal Kombat, personally.
Oh yeah, me too. With another great story mode.
Yeah, I was about to say it was a good storyline. That way, get to know all the characters again.
I just hope that
Mortal Kombat 2. You'd rather Mortal Kombat?
Yeah. Injustice was good, but
it'd be nice if they could step up their story mode to kill.
That's what I was asking because I know you're a big fan of comics.
yeah, I mean it was good for what it was, but I like the lore of Mortal Kombat more.
Yeah, and when you compare it to Marvel vs. Capcom, the game just wasn't great.
Not at all. It definitely let me down a little bit because I was looking forward to it too. Marvel vs. Capcom definitely.
I'm looking forward to season 2 of Killer Instinct.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too. 'Cause, I hope if Mortal Kombat does.
Hope we see something on that at E3.
Well, I hope if Mortal Kombat.
Maybe
I hope so.
a TJ combo teaser trailer.
We're not
Yeah,
going to see
yeah.
any. We might see one
Some boxing
character,
gloves
but
hanging
I
up.
think with the acquisition.
All they gotta do is show me TJ combo, and I'm there. I'm just,
I think with the acquisition, though, it'll be a little bit longer before we see something. But although, what's his face? Phil Spencer did say something recently about that, didn't he?
yeah. Well, and they said that Double Helix let Microsoft knew months in advance that they were in talks with Amazon to be bought out, so they already knew this was coming.
Yeah.
So they were setting things up before the buyout even officially happened. So
I think most of that was just kind of the release of the rest of season 1 and all that. I don't know that they. I mean, who knows? I'm speculating, right? But I'd personally love to see something about season 2 too. I just don't know that we will quite yet.
I definitely want to. All right, so these next 2 games are Far Cry 4 and Dragon Age Inquisition. Those are your games. I'm gonna let you talk about them while I sip some water. Go ahead, let us know.
What do you want me to say?
Far Cry 4 plot.
There's been some plot details that I didn't read because I don't want to know about it. You know how I am with spoilers and stuff. So I know that there's been some controversy about racism in the game and things like of
Well,
that nature.
they're not big plot details. It's just like the name of the character you're playing as and where it's going to be located. I mean, it's not like...
Well, the Himalayas, we already knew where it was going to be located.
Right.
But there's been some things like actual story marks of what's going to happen in the story and how it, some serious spoilers and stuff. So
that's not it when I got here. It's just hidden in the majestic Himalayas of Cryat, a country in tradition and violence. You play as Ajay Gale, I guess that's how you say that. Traveling to Cryat to fulfill your mother's dying wish, you find yourself caught up in a civil war to overthrow an oppressive regime of a dictator pagan minister. You will explore and navigate the vast open world where danger and unpredictability lurk around every corner.
That's a huge spoiler right there. No, but there is some big thing about this leak about racism. People are saying it's like overly racist and all this other stuff. I don't quite know. I didn't see it.
People just jump at the opportunity to call anything sexist or racist these days.
Well, I know that.
I'm so tired of the sexist articles.
Well, the Daniel
You know what I
Sterling
mean?
thing.
Yeah.
Every time a game comes out these days, and then a girl in it happens to have big boobs, 5 websites have to come out with a sexist article about it. I'm sorry, the shit just pisses me off. I'm getting tired of
I
it.
know.
Well, I think the whole racism thing is coming from the Daniel Sterling thing with the Clippers and all that. And it's just drawn a huge, amount of attention to racism lately. And this came out, and I didn't even see anything racist in that. I don't quite know what they're talking about, but
That whole Sterling thing. Oh man, and they've been giving updates like every day on the radio. I'd be listening to that shit. It's hilarious. You heard the phone conversation that he was having with some dude. The dude recorded it.
no, it was a girl. It was his girlfriend,
Yeah.
and she was hanging out with Magic Johnson.
No. I'm not talking about the racist stuff. I'm talking about another phone conversation he was having with a male friend of his, where he was talking about the girl who recorded him, talking about like how sexual she was and how she sucked him off in the limo and all this other stuff.
Some crazy stuff, dude. It's serious, man. I think it's messed up. I do not agree at all with the stuff that he said.
Right.
I just don't know how a country that prides itself off freedom of speech can take a man's multi-billion-dollar business from him for something he said.
In private.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm by no stretch of the imagination condone what he said,
At
but
all.
it just does not make sense.
If anything, she should be being brought up on charges for recording him without his permission. I'm pretty sure that's against the law.
Yeah, and you could
To record someone without their permission.
And you could tell in the conversation she was asking him the same questions over and over and trying to get him to
Hold
say
on,
something.
yeah.
And
Well, she knew that one day the money train would be running out and that he would stop giving her dough, and that's when she'd whip out that tape and be like, "Oh, you're going to give me some dough."
yeah, and then
One way or another.
it's just it's just a whole mess. And this guy's you know, he's been fighting cancer and everything, and like, dude, he's screwed.
Plus, his son died recently.
Yeah,
like
he's
overdose.
Dude, it's just,
Bad luck.
this guy's had some bad luck, but you know, he brought this one on himself. To be honest with you, he brought it on himself from some of the things he said. So, but I still don't agree with taking a man's multi-billion-dollar business because of something he said.
You know what I want to know about? That Dragon Age Inquisition Inquisitors Edition. What's that about? $170. What do you get with that?
72 card major and minor arcana tarot deck.
Whoa.
A lock tool set Inquisitor badge, a quill,
Oh yeah.
ink pot, 40-page journal, or Lasian coins. I want some of those. That's the rich country in Dragon Age.
Take those to 7-Eleven.
Steelbook case. You get the steelbook case, which you know.
Whoa.
That's worth the extra.
You already
money
know
for
how
you.
I feel about steelbook cases.
You get a cloth
That's
map.
an instant wet dream right there.
For you.
You get a cloth map of Thetis, which I think will be cool.
I'm also a fan of cloth maps. Also, the one that came with the collector's edition of, was it Elder Scrolls
Yes.
or Witcher?
No, it was
One-
Witcher.
one of those
It was.
two.
I can't remember which one it was either, but yeah, that was pretty sick. I remember you showed it to me. I didn't get it, but it also includes
It's another game I'm looking forward to, and that I hope we see more of at E3. Witcher 3.
Yeah, it got delayed, so we will see some more of it at E3. But the case is supposed to be fall reptile skin and imprint it with red silk lining. Ooh.
All right. So the big question is, does it sound like it's worth 170?
To somebody who is a major collector, yes,
Yeah.
but no, not to your average person.
I mean, because the game's 60, so you're essentially paying $110 for that extra stuff.
I know, yeah, no. I mean, the steelbook case would be cool.
Nothing takes the cake of that Titanfall special edition where it was like $260. That was just insane.
260,
Yeah.
huh?
Dollars.
You
Doll,
forgot
doll
that.
hairs.
$260.
But
So-
that was pretty great.
Pretty crack.
Worms Battlegrounds coming out May 30th, running at 1080p, 60 frames per second on Xbox One. There
Taking
you
it
go.
to the next level.
Next gen.
And the next generation of gaming is already here.
Worms. When you can get Worms running at 1080p, that's big things.
Happening.
That's always been a graphically strenuous game.
Indeed.
It's gonna have a lot of cool weapons, from what I hear.
Amen. Let's buy it.
Well, I'm gonna try and get it for free to review, but if not, then I'll probably buy it. Crossing the Line unveiled for Xbox One. Explore the land of the dead. From Zamboko Entertainment. This is a CryEngine powered game. Takes place present day. You play as a policeman. Switch between the world of the living and that of the dead.
A policeman.
Sounds interesting, and this is going to be like another one of those ID at Xbox games. So I always wonder when I hear, is it going to be an ID at Xbox game? Is it going to be good, or is it going to be one of those not so good indie games? You know, it's always a gamble with indie games. You never know.
It is. But you do get some hidden gems in them.
And there's another indie game, The Adventures of Pip. This game's actually still being kickstarted. They've got 9 days left, and they're like $60,000 out.
Oh.
So, well, if you're interested, look up The Adventures of Pip on Kickstarter. Toss them some money. I'd like to see it, you know, even if it doesn't turn out to be a good game. I'd like to see those developers make some money. That'd be nice.
Yep.
All right. So that's the end of the news. Real quick, we'll run through some reviews. I'm going to do Nutjitsu. First of all, Nutjitsu is like a game that was made for your tablet that happens to be on Xbox One. It's only $6, but I really don't have anything great to say about it.
Halo Spartan Assault was made for a tablet.
But that game was actually great on Xbox One. This game is not.
Okay, well, let's just be blunt about it.
I gotta be, because there just really wasn't anything great about the game. It wasn't a bad game, it just wasn't good. You play as this little squirrel. Each map is a maze. You walk around collecting acorns
Sounds like it was a bad game.
while trying to avoid some foxes that are also walking around.
It sounds like Pac-Man.
And that's pretty much it. That's it. That's as deep as the game goes. There's a leveling system in there. As you level up, you'll unlock new acorns to collect. I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 frags.
Yeah, that sounds like a not bad game. It ain't a great game. It's not a bad game, but I'm gonna give it 2 frags.
Super Time Force, on the other hand, is a good game.
It is a good game.
This is from Capybara, developers of Below, which is the Zelda-esque game that's going to be coming out.
Game looks interesting.
You can have up to 32 characters on the screen at once, or more, even more than that. It's a game that's hard to explain. The review's up on our website, fragtagradio.com, but essentially, there's this thing called Bloundbots. They've taken over the world, and you are traveling back through time trying to defeat them.
Thanks for the... Hydrate a little bit.
I'm sorry, it's just getting really hot in here.
Yes, it is.
I'm starting to feel kind of lightheaded. So, we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah. We will have AC soon.
Read the review. I'm gonna go ahead and give it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4 frags. Because I gotta
read the review, and I'm gonna give it 4 frags.
I gotta save what breath I have left for Wolfenstein. And Matt, please go ahead and start talking about Wolfenstein.
I played about a little bit of it today.
While I catch my breath.
And the controls are tight. The graphics are really good.
Really good.
The story itself, you mentioned how there wasn't any multiplayer in there at all, and
Yeah.
I'm fine with that because the narrative just sucks you in so much. We were at like a resistance camp or something today. You had to go fetch quest or whatever. But once you got past that initial setting, and I actually saw like those mechanical dogs and like the Robotech looking armor suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good game. The weapons you can choose. You have a huge weapon wheel, dual wield.
I think it shocked a lot of people.
Yeah, it surprised me.
You know,
I was thinking it
I
was gonna
think
be
a
a
lot
lot
of people were kind of expecting.
Because the last few Wolfenstein games have sucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I think a lot of people
in
were
that
kind of just
nightmare
expecting
mode, when
something.
you go in your bed and sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been getting good reviews, actually decent reviews all around. Which
I
is,
gave it a good review. Check it
Yeah.
out, fragtagradio.com.
and
Check it out.
just go read it. Just go read it.
Yeah. Pretty much what Matt said. Just go read it. No, but also there's some stealth stuff in there. You can play each level stealth if you want, or you can go in guns blazing, which is new
Yeah.
for Wolfenstein, and it's actually a really well done stealth. So,
I assume that's what those knives are for then, huh?
yeah, the story is also really well written, surprisingly.
That's what everything I've read has said. In the
and
story.
Wolfenstein's never really been known for its great story.
I think you have to bring something like that to the table when you're making a shooter now.
Yeah.
Especially
And
an old
this
shooter
game
like that.
was developed by a bunch of ex-Starbreeze employees who originally created The Darkness. And this game does kind of remind me of The Darkness in a lot of ways.
Which was another good game.
Yeah. So, I think that's 4.5 frags. I really don't know what's holding it back from being 5, other than the fact that the replayability is kind of low.
And that it's just.
But
essentially-
if for a first-person shooter campaign, 20 hours long, it's a good lengthy campaign.
something you don't see very often.
And there's you make a decision at the very beginning of the game, and based on that decision, every cutscene in the rest of the game will be different based on that decision. So you will essentially want to play through the game twice.
So 40 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So I mean,
So,
you
yeah.
get a good amount.
Well, you would essentially think that if
It's
they
got a
aren't going
decent
to give
amount
you a
of replayability.
multiplayer, then they should give you something like that, a good, healthy campaign.
And they did.
Yeah, and that's kudos to them.
4.5 frags. Yeah, I think that's it. Welcome back to Frag Tag Radio for the first time in video.
We're gonna go get an IV for pee, so
Don't mind the sweat beads.